This movie starts with the memory of the past, where we see a band called the Brozone, where we see Troll named John, who is the one who leads it. Then we meet a gang where first is Spruce, who gives him the exercise, and he is the most stronger of the group. On the other hand, there's Clay, who has to wear the flashy clothes that the leader asks of him, but doesn't like it at all. There's also another one called Floyd. He tries to keep the party peaceful and fun, but John tells him that it's just business. There's also the smallest of the group, who we all know as Branch, who is introduced as Biddy in the band, who is the most nervous. But Floyd, as always, tries to calm him down and tells him that as long as the brothers are united, they will be able to achieve whatever they want. Then they begin their concert as the Brozone, where it seems that they have several fans. Well, the Trolls brothers take turns singing, and even little Biddy. Well, the boys notice that they activate an energy between them that enhances their level of musical style. When creating one of her choreographies, it seems that Biddy loses her balance a little by little, and everyone else does, so the structure ends up falling apart, and everything gets out of control, ending up tight on top. While the presenter calms the public, then they go to the dressing rooms, where everyone begins to discuss what happened, so they come to the conclusion that each person must seek their destiny, so Clay turns the clothes to John so that he can keep them with love. They all separate and leave, while Floyd also plans to do so, and tells Branch that he will be back soon, so he must stay with the grandmother, who seems kind of nice, and Floyd also gives him his vest so that he can always remembered. However many years of this passed, and Branch only remembers what happened to his band. Then, while Poppy arrives, who surprises him listening to Brozone, while he tries to mislead her that it means nothing to him. Seeing him a little nervous, she tells him that he can tell him whatever he wants, but Branch doesn't feel encouraged, and just wants to go to the party they are going to have since there is a big wedding. Well, they think about their own, but it seems that both they think they are not ready. Afterwards, they head to the party, where the other trolls and other creatures are very excited. We see how they prepare King Bristle so that he is ready, while on the other hand, they prepare the bride called Bridget, where her friend Poppy gives her some advice. A little later, it seems that everything is ready, and the bride goes to the wedding place where the king is ready. Well, the bride shows her clothes before everyone, and goes with the groom to start the ceremony, so the fathers start with yours. However, at that moment, someone from above mentions that they stop everything who approaches at full speed. Well, we realize that it is John, who only mentions that if he does not interrupt anything important. At the same time that Branch realizes he says he is his older brother, John, seeing him, goes with him to greet him like the little Biddy he remembers. But Branch doesn't really agree. Poppy calms him down and asks who he is. So everyone realizes that he is actually Branch's brother. Well, Branch sees, which is not, since they abandoned it a long time ago. They also realized that John was the leader of Brozone, so they deduced that Branch was also part of that gang, and was little Biddy even. So Branch does not want to know anything about John, but he lets him know that he is there for something about Floyd. Then, having his attention, he tells him that one day he received a letter from Floyd, in which he lets him know that 2 new superstars have trapped him and are using his energy to enhance their music, so he went to the right place and found out. He noticed that there were 2 singers named Terry Poo and Choppa, who were becoming very popular because of this. John deduced that they were them, so he entered his dressing room where he saw Floyd, trapped in a perfume bottle made of diamond. He tried to get him out, but no matter how many tries, he couldn't achieve anything. So Floyd told him that just the power of the family's harmony could break him, so he asked him to go for the others. At that moment, the stars were about to arrive, so they said goodbye, but John assured him that he would return. When the others return, Poppy convinces Branch to help his brothers, so they quickly call Rosa, who is a creature that could take them wherever they want. Will the bride and groom take advantage of the emotion of the moment to have their father marry them, and they say goodbye to Poppy? Well, we see that the others wish them good luck. On the other hand, we see the stars who are interviewed due to their popularity, but Choppa gets nervous when they ask him what his secret is, while Tupa calms them down, saying that it is his natural talent. Well, we see outside the cameras that they do not have, but they use Fly as a perfume and increase its rhythm and intonation. At the same time, Floyd tells them that he doesn't have much energy left. Well, Velvet tells him not to worry since he sent a letter to make the rest of Broen come to them and thus have limited energy. On the other hand, we see that Rosa is being directed by Diamantito, where John tells them that he has clue about Spruce, so Diamantito does his thing and soon brings them closer to the place. At the same time, we see that the recently hunted couple has a honeymoon adventure traveling by motorcycle. Returning to the others, they arrive at the place where Branch does not seem very happy to be with John, while Poppy tells him that she would like to have a sister and be able to help her with anything. Then they arrive at the vacation island, where they soon meet Spruce, who is very happy to see Biggie, but not so much John, while he introduces him to his wife and his other children. At that moment, John tells him he says about the problem that Floyd has, while the public, knowing that they are from Brozon, asks them for a demonstration, so they leave everyone impressed, and Poppy even joins them. Spruce then says goodbye to the family and leaves with his brothers. Meanwhile, we see that the star's assistant tries to do her best job. Well, she shows them that she created a device to extract energy and can be used as a garment, so Velvet uses it, immediately exaggerating, and it takes a lot of Floyd's energy away. Then they lock up the assistant so that she doesn't say anything while Floyd tries to convince Chapa, although he still wants to follow in his sister's footsteps. On the other hand, John lets them know that he has Clay's golden garment, so Rosa can track him and press the hyperspeed button, so they have a next-generation quantum intergalactic journey, where they soon arrive at a strange place. Then a huge clown tries to scare them away, but seeing that they are trolls, a troll girl named Viva comes out who welcomes them while showing them that it is an exclusive place for trolls, where they soon see Clay, who is glad to see his brothers, except John. Then Clay lets them know that he is living very well there and has a large apartment that is just for him, while John tells him what is happening with Floyd and that they need the family harmony of the gang to be able to rescue him. At the same time, Via seems to want to convince them to stay, since they have everything they need there. While she sees Poppy's bracelet where something seems familiar, while when asking her about her father's name, which is King Vita, he realizes that it is actually someone he knows since she is also his daughter, so he lets her know that they are sisters. Then they're both excited, since neither of them knew they had sisters, so they quickly talk about how much they wanted to have a sister and everything they would like to do. Well, we watch them having fun. Then Puppy asks her what happened, so she only tells her that she separated from the rest a long time ago, but does not give many details. Clay tells his brothers that he has been alive for many years in the great confrontation that the trolls had. She saved many when they were trapped, while King Life thought he had lost her, and kept the secret so as not to worry Poppy. Well, Viva created that shelter where she protected the other trolls she saved, but Clay lets them know that they must escape from there, since she is obsessed with not letting anyone go from that place. Branch wants to go for Poppy, but they let him know that there is no time, although they soon realize that they close the floodgates so that no one leaves. Then Viva tries to convince her sister that it is the best for everyone, while Poppy shows her book with the things they can do outside, but it does not seem to convince her. Well, Clay, in order not to waste time, opens the floodgates and everyone begins to leave. Well, Viva doesn't dare to go with them and instead gives the book back to Poppy, who leaves it for her to think about. On the other hand, we see that the stars are preparing to leave the stage, but they realize that Floyd is sleeping, so they try to revive him so that he gives them his energy, but he only takes advantage of an opportunity to try to escape, although Chapa soon manages to catch him. Floyd tries to convince him to let him go free, but Chapa thinks he should be on his sister's side, so he gives it back to her, and everything stays the same. On the other hand, Brothers and Poppy are still with all the attitude. However, the dilemma soon begin since John wants it to be perfect, while the others want to have fun singing. Branch tries to calm him down and tells them that they must stay together. Because of this, Branch stops Rosa and tells them that he will rescue him on his own, so he leaves alone, while Poppy shows them that the bunker where Branch lived was created for when they turned, so Poppy decides to leave with Branch to support him since they have always supported each other, and Diamantito also joins them with a skate. On the other hand, we see that the recently hunted arrive at the place where Viva is, so they trap them since they were once enemies of the trolls. Meanwhile, the boys arrive at the concert area where they manage to reach Floyd. He tells Branch that he has grown a lot, although he asks him to leave since it is a trap to catch them. At that moment, they hear the Star Brothers arriving, so Branch and the others quickly hide, but the bad thing is that they realize that the evil ones had already caught the other troll brothers and are using them in their clothes, that they absorb the energy, while Rosa is locked up with the assistant. Then the evil ones head to a great concert that they will have, while Branch saves Rosa and the assistant. At the same time, the other trolls are about to finish off the newlyweds, but luckily Viva knows them from Poppy's book, so they realize that they are good people, while Viva tells him that he made a mistake in not accompanying his sister. On the other hand, Terry Poo and Choppa arrive at their big presentation, where Branch and the others interrupt them also in the middle of the cameras, and the public. They reveal that they take the talent of the trolls, so the villains flee. Then a chase is created, where the villains use the power of the Troll Brothers and use it in their favor, while Branch uses the Diamond Candy pacifier, so he gains courage and manages to reach it. But not for long, since that the villains arrive on stage where they continue to take more and more energy from the trolls to give their show. At that moment, they realize that Viva and the others have come to save the day, so the sisters meet again, so they soon launch and make the trolls reach the stage where they soon recover two of them, then brothers, and they want to go for the others, although Velvet doesn't let them have it easy and stays with Floyd, and tries to extract every last drop of energy from him. At that moment, the assistant supports them and turns off all the music while Branch begins to sing. So the brothers follow the rhythm and they all sing, impressing the entire audience. So they soon begin to create family harmony and manages to attract Floyd. So when he joins them in singing, everyone is free. Floyd seems very weak and without energy, although he soon wakes up and tells them that he just needs to rest, while Chapa confesses the truth to the cameras about everything they did while the assistant puts handcuffs on both of them and they carry. Later we see that Viva meets with her father, and they talk about everything that happened. Well, John sees the song that Branch wrote and tells him that it turned out very well, although he soon realizes that he wrote it for the band he has, with some friends who arrive and shows them that not only he has been in Brozon, but that he also has another band, where he soon shows that what they are made of. Then those from Broen join them, and a great show is created for the public. At the same time, Branch takes advantage of the emotion of the moment to ask Poppy for something important, which is that she joined the band and movie ends. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you can get more video like this.